Hey everyone, it's Kyle. I'm back. I finally returned. This is the long anticipated video where I'm going to be announcing the results of my college application process and of course the school that I ultimately committed to. Now this video is 3 months overdue. I meant to do this back in April when I had visited my college and I took all kinds of awesome nice pictures, but then what happened is the end of high school got in the way and I got really busy and with graduating high school, but also with doing things like the International Science and Engineering Fair, ISEF. And if you guys would like to see that, let me know. I'll put a video together for that. But anyway, this video that should have come out 3 months ago is now here, and I'm going to be telling you all about the colleges that I applied to, which ones I got accepted to, and ultimately which one I chose. Now, of course, you'll have to excuse the change of scenery here. It's kind of a long story, actually. But anyway, if you've been following my Instagram page, that's instagram.com/builderdude35, which you should be following, you probably already know the answer to this question already. But if you haven't seen that decision on my Instagram, I'm going to be telling you what my ACT and SAT scores were and all that stuff. Then I'll give you the list of the schools that I applied to and whether or not I was accepted to each one of them. And of course, the one that I did ultimately commit to, which I was fortunate enough to be my #1 school, I'll save that one for the very last. Now, something I'm going to throw out there right off the bat, because I know people are going to ask about this, I did not apply to any Ivy League colleges, so that's the Harvard, Yale, Princeton, etc. I didn't apply to any of those 8 schools because I felt like, for me personally, that wasn't the kind of school culture that I was looking for, and especially, as you'll see soon, I was chasing a different set of schools, mostly the technology-oriented ones, and I ended up getting exactly what I wanted, which is very awesome, but I don't want to give too much away. Let's just jump right into it. Alright, so first I'll go over my standardized testing scores. I took the ACT in December 2016, and the first time I took it, I got a composite score of 35. I think I got like a 35 on the science section, 35 on the reading section, 35 on the writing section, 34 reading, and 34 math. Yeah, but it came out to a composite score of 35. And then I took the SAT, and at first I got a 1460, and then I took the SAT a second time and got a 1520. Now the 1520 SAT is not quite the same level as the 35 ACT, so I pretty much just ended up sending only my ACT score to most of the schools. I didn't really bother with the SAT. And I took 2 SAT subject tests. I took Math 2, which is required by my school, and I also took Chemistry because I had taken AP Chem in high school. I got a perfect 800 on the Chemistry subject test. Now, the Math 2, I got a 760 on, which is, it's bad. Now, if you get a 760 on the regular Math SAT, like, that's fine. But when you take the Math 2, it's a little bit different because the people who are taking the Math 2 are already better, and the curve on the Math 2 SAT subject test is very forgiving. You can get actually 7 questions wrong and still get a perfect 800. And I got a 760, which is actually kind of bad. For context, that's 63rd percentile. So I did better than 63% of the people who took it, which is still not great for the schools that I was looking for. And so then I decided to retake it, and I got a 730 after studying for like 2 months. So I was a little nervous going in with that very bad math score, but as you'll see, the colleges were willing to overlook it. And then, of course, on my common application and all of the other school-related applications, I made sure that I wrote my essay about my YouTube channel, and I filled up all of the 600 some odd character word, 600 word limit talking about my YouTube channel, because this, to me, is the most important and most impactful thing that I do. And I also talked about some of the other things I do, like science competitions and Metropolitan Orchestra. But anyway, those were the statistics. 35 ACT, 800 Chemistry SAT subject test, 760 Math 2 subject test. So as I go through the list of the schools I applied to, you'll see that most of them are in the Northeast. I live in New York, and I didn't want to go too far away. I knew that I wanted to go away, but not totally far away. And most of them are concentrated in the Boston area because I just love the city of Boston. And then there were 2 schools that I applied to in California because I wasn't opposed to going to California for the education, but I would have liked to avoid it because I want to be able to play the double bass in like an orchestra at the school, and of course I can't transport my bass on a plane. So anyway, without further ado, here's the list of the schools. The first school I applied to was SUNY Stony Brook For those of you who don't know, SUNY stands for State University of New York, and I of course applied to Stony Brook's engineering department, and I was accepted into their honors college. So second, we have SUNY Binghamton, which is yet another state-funded university in New York, and I was also accepted into their engineering college. Then we have Northeastern University, which is the first of our schools in the Boston area. I applied to their engineering college, and I got accepted into that and their honors program too. Next up, we have Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, commonly known as RPI, within my own New York State, and I was accepted into their engineering college as well. I applied to the engineering program at Tufts University, another school in the Boston area, and they'd had a pretty heavy involvement with developing the LEGO Mindstorms EV3, and that's also the school at which I had delivered a little presentation or address at the LEGO Learning Symposium 2 years prior to applying, and I was accepted to that school as well. Then we have Worcester Polytechnic Institute, commonly known as WPI, which is in Massachusetts, which was of interest to me because it has a lot of involvement with FIRST robotics teams, and I myself have been on FIRST robotics for 7 years. And unfortunately I was waitlisted from the school, which was kind of interesting. You'll see why in a little bit. Carnegie Mellon University. This school is in Pittsburgh, and this, going into my application process, was my second favorite school, so my second choice university. What really caught my eye about Carnegie Mellon was that it was one of the few schools that had a dedicated robotics major through its School of Computer Science, and of course its computer science school is one of the best in the US. I was more interested in the mechanical engineering, but I was planning on double majoring in mech-e and then doing that second major in robotics starting in my sophomore year. And I was also interested in a lot of the interdisciplinary stuff that they had there. Kind of surprisingly, I was waitlisted from Carnegie Mellon, but I wasn't really heartbroken because this was one of the last decisions I got, and I already got a decision back from my first choice school at that point. But anyway, let's keep going. I know I said earlier I didn't apply to any of the Ivy League schools, and that's because I wanted to focus on the top tier engineering schools in the US, which some say that are more prestigious than some of the Ivy League schools. I don't know, we'll see. So that brings us to Caltech, or the California Institute of Technology. This is the first of those top tier schools that I received an admissions decision from, and I was absolutely over the moon, overjoyed to find that I had been accepted to their school. And I thought that was just the coolest thing, and I was really happy at that point, and they had accepted me, of course, in spite of that bad Math 2 grade. Stanford University. So this was a school that at first I put on my application without much thought back in November, December-ish time when I was starting my application process. But by the end of the application, it had become a very close second choice school for me, which of course displaced Carnegie Mellon after I was waitlisted. And I became more enthusiastic about Stanford the more I learned about it through an interview with a Stanford alumna, and also by researching it and just looking into it. I was really excited about the programs, and I mean, if you've seen the campus, it's just beautiful. I never got to go there in person, but I've seen pictures and people have been there. It's an amazing school, and I was absolutely overjoyed to be admitted to this very prestigious university. Some would say it's definitely in the top 5 in the U.S., maybe in the whole world, and it was just like a dream come true to be admitted to Stanford. And like I said, this was making the decision very hard for me, but I did get into my first choice school, which I'll announce right now. Can I get a drum roll? So now this is the 10th and final school that I applied to, and this is the one that I ultimately committed to. So are you ready? So this has been my dream school since I don't even know how old, probably since 7th grade at least, maybe even sooner than that. But I was absolutely, positively, like words cannot describe how ecstatic I was to open my admissions letter on March 14th to find that I had been admitted to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, aka MIT. And actually, I'm wearing the shirt right now. I don't know, is it in frame? Can you see? Whatever. You'll see it in a second. But that was absolutely a dream come true, and I was just, well, I probably used a lot of adjectives already to describe, but I was just so happy. It was everything that I'd ever worked for in high school and beforehand. Just seemed validated, and it was really awesome. And I knew that as soon as I got accepted, that I wanted to go there because I had already been there. I was in love with the city of Boston. I was in love with the school, and of course, university rankings just did their ranking of all of the schools across the world, and for I think it's the 7th consecutive year, MIT is ranked #1 in the world. So I feel extremely fortunate to be accepted to this prestigious university, and I committed after their CPW, which I can show you pictures from, and I was just wow. Getting accepted to MIT would be a dream come true for anyone, myself included. And just when I thought it couldn't get any more amazing, it did. So the decisions came out on March 14th, and the day after, on March 15th, the admissions council from MIT actually personally called my house to congratulate me, which it was mind-blowing, because that's not really something that happens. I know the Ivy League universities give likely letters where they tell kids who they're probably going to admit beforehand. MIT doesn't do anything like that. They don't give likely letters. They don't give personal calls. So when they called my house, my dad actually picked up the phone, and he said, "Hey Kyle, it's MIT admissions." I was like, "Yeah, right, and I'm Joe's Pizza." Like, I didn't believe him. And he's like, "No, I'm actually serious. It's them." And so I picked up the phone, and it was the admissions counselor. I won't say his name just for privacy reasons, but he called me and he asked me if I had seen my admissions decision from the day before, and of course I wasn't going to forget to check. I mean, it's MIT, and he said, "I'm really glad to offer you admission to the MIT class of 2022. We're really excited, and we hope you choose to study with us this coming fall." And then what he said was just something absolutely unbelievable that I'll never forget. He said that when they were looking over the applications, that mine really stuck out, because he said, and these are his words exactly, he said that the bloggers unanimously voted that my YouTube channel was the most wholesome thing that they had ever seen. And that was the exact word he used, wholesome. And that to me was just, I'm kind of struggling for words to describe it. It was absolutely mind-blowing, but also validating experience at the same time, because it was like all of the hard work that I'd been putting into the channel had been recognized, but also at the same time, everything that I felt I had been doing for people, like helping them, and I felt like I was making the difference in the world, it came true, and like they saw it too. And that was just something amazing. And you know, when you use the word wholesome, there's an amount of honesty associated with it. Like, they could see that it wasn't something that I was just doing just to put on a college application. Nobody would spend 3 years publishing a YouTube video every single week just for like a nothing kind of thing. Like, they knew that deep down inside, like, that it was a thing that was helping people, and they saw from you guys that it was making a difference in your lives, which is what I've been setting out to do, trying to inspire people and give people ideas and really educate them and uplift them. And for MIT to recognize that was absolutely amazing, and for them to make a personal phone call to my house and say, "We really want you at your school," which is something totally unheard of. That just totally sealed the deal for me. Oh, and the campus preview weekend was amazing. So that was, yeah, wow. Now, just to put 2 little footnotes on the history, I guess, just for the record, it doesn't really matter that much. The first thing I want to say is MIT was the only school I applied early to, and I was actually deferred during early action. MIT's policy is if they don't admit you, you're automatically deferred, which means that they look at your application again during the spring cycle with no prejudice. And obviously I was able to get in during the springtime, and I'm not really sure why I was deferred, if they were so enthusiastic about admitting me during spring, but whatever, it doesn't really matter that much. I got in, and I'm just really excited. It's a dream come true. The other thing is Stanford did something kind of similar to me, where my admissions counselor for Stanford, again, I won't mention the name for privacy reasons, kind of wrote me a little note on my official certificate of admission, and she was talking about like how she really enjoyed learning about the stuff that I did, like about the Tufts Learning Symposium that I gave a presentation at, and my YouTube channel. And she said that she felt like I'd be a really good fit for the mechanical engineering department, and that was also a really good thing, to receive personal recognition from Stanford University and from MIT for the work that I've been doing. Is really just awesome stuff. But yeah, guys, MIT, like that's where I'm going. It's really awesome. And I went to their campus preview weekend, which was back in April. I took a few pictures from there, which I'll put up now. And I'm so over the moon excited and enthusiastic and ecstatic. every E word you can possibly think of to describe how excited I am about this. They have all the programs that I want. They have such a research intensive curriculum. They have what they call UROP, which is the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. And as someone who's done research all through his time in high school, that's something I really wanted to get involved in, and that's something I'm going to be doing starting in my very first semester there. And I want to get involved with the CSAIL project, which is their robotics. And I took a tour of their data center when I was there, and they're showing like the CSAIL robotics projects. They're making robots that explore nuclear disasters, like the Fukushima power plant, so people don't have to go in there. They're doing things with self-driving cars, all kinds of just absolutely amazing stuff, and I can't wait to be a part of it. And to make it even better, as icing on the cake, they have a pretty awesome symphony orchestra there, run by their students called Mitso, which I'll be auditioning for. They need bass players, so I'm going to be up there playing the double bass. I've already met the director. He's an awesome guy, so I'll be auditioning when I go up there at the end of August for my orientation week. And I think I'll probably even have the opportunity to play next to players from the Boston Symphony. Sometimes they come in and play with that orchestra. I think, maybe fact check me on that. But it's just such a cool experience. And if you've ever been to the city of Boston, it's incredible. It's an amazing city. I know a lot of people who aren't from the United States, their dream is to go to New York City. Don't go to New York City. Go to Boston. Boston's so much better. But anyway, I've done enough yammering. But yeah, I'm so excited and so pleased with this admissions result. And yeah, MIT 2022. That's me. Now this is another question that is definitely going to come up. Let's talk about what I'm going to be majoring in. So if you don't know, everybody who comes into MIT for their first year, their freshman year, is undeclared. So you don't declare a major until after your first year is finished. And the reason being is because they want everybody to take what are called General Institute requirements. So those are classes like physics, biology, chemistry, calculus, and a little bit of humanities. But I'm going to be covered half of my music requirement by performing the symphony orchestra, and I'll probably take economics or a language class to fill up my humanities requirement. So then I'll declare a major after my first year, and right now I'm planning on majoring in course 2A6. Now all of the courses in MIT are assigned a number, and what 2A6 means in English is mechanical engineering with a concentration in robotics. The 2A course is mechanical engineering, but it's their flexible major that allows you to take a concentration in something else. So 2A6 is a very well-beaten path. It's a very popular option. A lot of people like to major mechanical engineering and then incorporate either electrical engineering, computer science, or whatnot into their mechanical engineering degree. So I specifically will be taking mechanical engineering with a robotics path by integrating some extra computer science in there. So that's what I'm going to be majoring in. Most likely, I'm also entertaining the thought of doing chemical engineering, because I've recently gotten into a lot more chemistry stuff too. I think is really cool. But right now my heart's at robotics, and it's looking like it's going to stay there for the foreseeable future. Let's see. Of course, I have still that first year to explore a whole bunch of different science classes and see what I really like. So as we're getting to the end of this kind of rant, sort of vlog style video, I'm trying to wrap things up, but there's one more thing that I need to address before I sign off, and that is, as you can see, that my YouTube channel was a huge part of the reason why I got accepted into the Caltech, Stanford, and MIT, those really prestigious top-tier engineering schools, and I'm beyond overjoyed for that. But I need to acknowledge you guys, my viewers, and I need to say a huge thank you. And even the two words thank you, it just feels really hollow next to the gratitude I feel, because you guys all collectively share a small piece of the responsibility for why I got in. Because the whole reason why I maintained this channel over the course of 3 years was for you guys. Because I realized that making these videos really helped you, and it inspired a lot of people and made a difference in some people's lives. And that was something that a lot of people communicated to me personally, either in the YouTube comments or to an email through my website. And that was just like something that made me feel good about what I was doing, and that's why I continued it for so long. And that's the thing that the MIT admissions board saw. That's why they decided to personally call me, because they could see, as they said, how wholesome the whole entire thing was. That they saw a kid wanting to teach other kids about the technology, and they saw that it was making a difference for you guys, and that's something that I have to say thank you so much for all of your attention and all of your support, for watching all my videos and answering my Q&As and leaving comments for suggestions for improvement and suggestions for tutorials, and just for expressing everything. Just wow, thank you guys. So finishing up this little rant session that I've got going on right here, of course, thank you for everything. I'm super duper looking forward to my time at MIT. I'm going to be starting at the very last week of August with orientation, and the classes don't start until kind of late at MIT. But I'm going to be around like so many other brilliant kids who are just as interested in the technology as I am, and of course doing world-class research with some of the greatest professors out there. And I'm going to be in some super awesome robotics labs, so maybe OP robot video number 2 might be in the works. Anyway, we'll see. I'm going to be here for the rest of the summer, hopefully doing some project-related videos on the channel, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, thank you for sitting through this whole video, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.